Hi, I'm Octopab, and today I'm doing another talking video, sitting down, talking, having a question. I recently did my Rainbow High one where I talked about why are people selling their Rainbow High collection, and a lot of people like answered that and gave their own opinions, which I love reading your guys' comments and seeing what you guys have to say, because again, like, I don't have an answer for why people are selling their collections. So I'm gonna do another one because this is also a question that I have, and I want to give kind of some of the information that I found and see if anyone else knows. So sit down video where I talk about why are Bratz dolls so expensive. So if you guys have your thoughts on why they are, or things that you came up with that I did not come up with, put them in the comments, because I love reading your guys' stuff. It was so like fun to read everybody talking about the Rainbow High dolls. But let's get into why I think / what I found on why maybe Bratz are so expensive. First of all, in case you didn't know, Bratz dolls are insanely expensive secondhand market. It sucks if you want to collect Bratz dolls. That's why I really like the reproductions that they keep doing, because I didn't collect Bratz, and so now coming into the doll collecting world where there's so much stuff that I need, Bratz is Bratz is insanely expensive, and so like being able to buy the dolls that they made back then but like their reproduction so slightly different is really nice. For the dolls that they have yet to make in the reproduction form, it's a lot. They're insanely expensive, and not just like Monster High can go for in box like $100, $200, you know what I mean? Like they can get pricey. That's still like $300 to $400, $500. I just recently saw somebody say that they were buying one for like $900. How are people buying that? Which, like, no judgment if you are spending that, but like that's insane. So I want to talk about why maybe hats are insanely expensive. Number one, the biggest thing that I see is the debate between rare and not rare, like what makes a rare doll. Because a lot of times in listings things say rare, and people always use rare as whatever they want to use. As far as like the dictionary says, rare is, I was gonna write it down but I did not, it's along the lines of like something that is of value and then very little of, so not occurring very often and of value. So that's the definition, somewhat, at least when I googled the definition of rare, which is important to note when it comes to Bratz dolls, because I feel like a lot of people, just their common excuse is it's rare, and I don't think that they are. I'll give an example because you know, to help in terms, and obviously if you don't want to believe that a doll isn't rare, that's fine. That's fine. But in my head, like a rare doll, the one that I can think of, or one that like some, I guess, is dolls that I can never find when I Google them, or not Google, but look up on eBay or Mercari. If a doll is popping up on eBay or Mercari, and like more than one of them, I would consider that to not be rare. But like Evergirl is a doll that I'm really interested in that I never see pop up. The Disney Pixie stars, that one, that Exconensis, they got all three of them, right? Are there three of the dolls? They're never on eBay or Mercari or any online website. Macy's is the ones that I want to talk about, because I also like they're obviously like can probably consider Oaks one of a kind dolls, but Macy's in the sense of like what I consider like rare, and this can be just my opinion, is in the terms of Macy's, because I've been lately thinking about them and I'm never gonna have one, so I'm gonna use as much time as I can to talk about them. you know what, optimism, I might one day get one. Makis, I believe when they originally came out, they were $100. If you don't know what a Makey is, Makis, they are dolls that you would go onto like a website and then customize the doll, and then you'd pay for it and then they'd send it to you. I don't know too much about them, but I do really love how they look. I just like their style, and so they're pretty much oaks, but I don't know a lot about them, so like take my word very little because I don't know a lot about them. But they were $100, so in my mind they're like American Girl dolls are cheaper than American Girl doll, but they're expensive, so not everybody was able to buy a Makey. So you can't just walk into Walmart. It's not accessible to like everyone. You're not walking into Walmart or Target to purchase the doll, but they're also like a decent present there or gift. They're $100. They're not a $20 Barbie that's in Walmart or Target, so it's harder to get them. You had to be actively looking for them because I don't think they were like insanely popular, so you had to go to their website to purchase them. They were harder to find, and then they're $100. Not everybody can buy them. Not everybody just has $100 laying around, but people have, you know, $10 for a fashionista, or, you know, so in my opinion, Makeys would be considered rare on obviously the fact that it's one of a kind. You're not finding if you have a specific Makey that you like, you can't find that one. But aside from that, like, I would consider that rare because it's harder to get. You can't just walk into a store. So in that kind of terms, I would say dolls that are a little bit more expensive could be considered rare. So if it's $60 and over, I would consider them to be more rare than like the average doll. But also if it's an exclusive doll, like Target exclusive, Walmart, honestly sometimes those are debatable, but nonetheless, you know, it's exclusive to a location. And then lastly, if there's like a limited number, so like San Diego Comic-Con, there's only so many, and also you can only get them there. But they did the Jet Dawson doll where, I think it was Jet, where some of them were sold with numbers. I wouldn't consider that because they also made ones without the numbers. But nonetheless, that's my terms of like rare. And why I kind of exclude Bratz out is because, number one, Bratz were almost sold everywhere. I don't think there were that many lines that were exclusive to Toys R Us, Walmart, or Target, you know what I mean? But also they were accessible. You could get them multiple places. They were the regular doll price, like $20, I correct? So they're not insanely expensive. And lastly, like most importantly, they were mass produced. And so that's my thoughts on like rare and stuff, and why I don't consider Bratz rare. I would consider certain characters more rare than others. Obviously Felicia, before they started reproducing her, there were only 2 of her, and she was also a sought out character. So, you know, like there's that. But I think like the best way to describe like Bratz and their market, in my opinion, it's kind of rambling before we get into other people's opinions, is that certain dolls are sought after. I keep using the word sought, but I'm not sure I'm using it correctly. But certain characters are more liked than others, and certain dolls are more liked, and there's certain ones that people want. And that's like the difference, is that obviously before they started producing Felicia, and I'm sure now still, she was going for insane prices because she was sought out after and one that so many people wanted. So like there are characters that are sought out after, but again, there are still like 7 or 8 Felicias on eBay. You know what I mean? That's why like I'm going into all this time talking about like rare, because I feel like that's something that people use a lot, is like, oh well, Bratz dolls are rare, and I don't think that they are. The other thing that I have seen people bring up is that they're reaching the 20 years, and that one's a hard I almost said excuse, a hard debate, because like 80s Barbies from the 80s are what, reaching 40, is that my math is slightly correct, maybe, is that 40 years, and they are still pretty easily found. I mean, I find I've found a few 80s Barbies for cheap, and 90s, they've been around for 30 years, and I'm still actively seeing them in like places. I mean, obviously there's going to be ones that are going to be harder to find, but they're not skyrocketing to those prices. And it's like a Playline doll, there's so many that were made versus like a collector doll. So there were so many that were made for Bratz, and Bratz was like a beloved like thing. So I'm not like, they can't be like, oh, they didn't sell well, so there's not that many dolls out there. So like, why are they so expensive? The other thing that could get brought up, and that I saw brought up, was there's not as many in box or out of box, you know what I mean? Like, they're played with, so then they've gotten destroyed, so there just aren't as many. But like, you search up a certain doll like Jade, Tennis Jade, I feel like is the one that was really big lately, or the, is it soccer dolls? It's one of the sports ones, and I should know them because I really like the sports dolls, but I don't remember which ones are going like insanely high price, because I don't look at Bratz dolls on eBay because it disappoints me. But I do follow a Bratz group, and people are always talking about these. I think it's Tennis Jade has just recently sold for a lot, and then maybe one of the other sports dolls has sold for a lot, or been amongst the group of people talking about like how these are sought after dolls, and people are like, I want them. But anyways, and that's true, except like the whole like thing of like, they're played with, so people have probably thrown them away or like gotten rid of them. That's true. That's a true thing. There might have been like 1,000 produced. I don't know numbers, but just saying 1,000 produced, and there might only be 100 now. But if you search up certain dolls, even the ones that are like are going for a lot, there's still like many on eBay. I'm gonna go look at the Jade to see, because I think it's Tennis Jade is the one that I have been seeing. See if there are any on eBay. I should have picked an easier doll because she is going for a lot, at least on eBay. I found at least 3 listings from different shops. I don't know if one counts because one was like the 2-pack of Jade, but it's the same outfit. I don't know if people like get, that's not the same doll, you know, but it looked like it. But the one on eBay was going for $1,900, $1,900, almost $2,000. What the heck? Like, I saw that and I was like, you're joking. Like 3 listings of her. Like, why is she going for that much? Like, obviously, you know, I've seen like Ever After High dolls or Monster High, like a particular Ever After High, like Faye Balthorn doll has been one that I've been looking at. And there's like way more than that, but I've seen Tennis Jade surface in the market before. It's like, why is she so expensive? I don't understand why she's so expensive. Not just her, but like, because like that one's extreme. I did not think she was that much money. I really did not. 200, not 200, but like, I knew that she recently sold for a lot, but she did not sell for that much money. That is a lot of money. Not just her, but why are so many dolls selling for so much when there's at least a few accessible? And I have that question. So, excluding the fact that they could be rare, I don't think that they are. And excluding the fact that there aren't that many in the market, or there's only like a few left, like that's 3 listings, and maybe, you know, there's 5 other people out there that are thinking about selling them, and you know what I mean? Versus like, there has been dolls that I haven't seen enter eBay in like 3 years. Since I have started collecting and looking at dolls, there has been dolls that I have on my notifications, notify me if these words pop up, and I have yet to get a notification since collecting. So why? And that's not to say that like if a doll pops up a lot, because like there are dolls that I would consider rare, the San Diego Comic-Con dolls, that I feel like is always on eBay, so like take that with a grain of salt. But we're gonna get into what other people have thought, because again, like, I've tried to come up with things and I just don't have that many thoughts, and so I need other people's help. So I read Reddit's, Facebook posts, everything, and I found that not many people have answers. I don't think anyone has an answer, so you have an answer, let me know. But some people on Reddit suggested that it's because they see a doll like Felicia or like Tennis Jade going for these high prices, so they assume that every single Bratz doll goes for that price, and I 100% agree with that. I think that a lot of scalpers think that. I saw a video on Facebook a while back where it was like Facebook shorts, maybe it was YouTube shorts, it does not matter, where somebody picked up, they went thrifting and found a G3 Monster High doll, picked it up because they were like, these can go for hundreds of dollars, and then we're like, oh, but it's a G3, so they aren't going for that much. And it's that thing of like scalpers, people who thrift and then sell, those kind of people might see on eBay that this Bratz doll is selling for a lot, and this one also kind of looks like that. So if they find a Jade, they go, oh well, Tennis Jade sells for a lot and this one looks like that, so maybe she also sells for that. And that makes sense, especially when you see a lot of Bratz dolls. I mean, I've seen nude ones go for like $50 to $60, and it's like, oh my god, oh my god. And I'm not saying that everything is insanely high priced. I've definitely seen cheaper Bratz dolls out there. I've thrifted cheap Bratz dolls, but when you're seeing like dolls that have most, like their full outfit going for $100 to $200, but they're out of box, it's like, that's insane, because I've found my Monster High doll for $20 with her full outfit. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, Bratz, I feel like, is so priced, and not everything has to be in like the thousands or even the hundreds, but like I said, like I find ever after high dolls on eBay sometimes for like $20 with everything, and Bratz are going for so much with most of their outfit. Like, it's like, what the heck? And so I definitely do think that that could be the case. I also was, when I was coming up with my ideas, I was thinking maybe like, well, they could post whatever price they want, why are people buying it? And I think that's the thing, is like, people are always going to like see rarity. They're gonna see this doll and be like, she was listed at $900, I need it. And it was kind of that same thing that I talked about when I was talking about Rainbow High. There was this like trend of like, wow, these are so cool in the doll collecting community, like everyone is like, Rainbow High is best quality, so everyone went after it. And now Rainbow High isn't the trendy thing anymore. And I think that's the same thing when it comes to like a lot of collecting communities. That isn't just to say Rainbow High, Bratz, Barbie, MGA. But I think that that is seen a lot in collecting places. I definitely have seen a lot where people go after the more expensive things, the trendy things. Oh, this doll is worth a lot. When she's in my collection, she looks good. And that's not to say that when people get that item that they really, really want, that's expensive because it's expensive, that they don't like it or they don't care about it. That makes sense. Like, I do think that people really like their thing, and I think that they can find value off of that. I'm not trying to shame anyone. I think that a lot of people do like the thing that is expensive because, you know, I mean, looks good. I would love to have the Cerise San Diego Comic-Con doll. I think she looks great, and I want her so bad. I love her designs, but also she's insanely expensive. And so I do think that, you know, like, some people might go after her because she's expensive, but also she'll look amazing on your shelf. She will be perfect. But nonetheless, I do think that that is still found in the Bratz community, of people going after these expensive things. So even though like a doll should not be worth $300 out of box, people are like, oh, she was listed at that, especially now that there might have been one or two that was listed at that, but now that like everything is listed at that price, those price points, that people feel like they have to. Maybe the reason that like prices are also going up is if, you know, like a doll's listed at 300, there's multiple 300 listings, and somebody lists one at 250 and somebody buys it because like, oh my god, that's $50 less. Now that one's a sold listing. Do you know what I mean? Like, kind of makes sense. And I have seen that where I've been like, oh, that one's cheaper than that one right there, I'm gonna get that. Anyways, I just threw my ring. You can tell I have been fidgeting. Anyways, kind of my thoughts there. Before anyone says inflation, I read a Reddit from like 4 or 5 years ago when they were talking about the skyrocketing prices. I just watched a video where somebody went over their most expensive Bratz dolls, and everyone in the comments was like, I was expecting you to say in the hundreds. I think maybe the person had one doll that they bought, like their most expensive one was like $100, and that was it. Like, I don't think she paid more than $100 for a doll, and I was like really shocked, and everyone in the comments was really shocked. That's not anything relating, well, I guess it is relating to this, but the fact that everyone was shocked was like insane. And kind of like my next point, so I guess it does relate, is that maybe people are just custom to this. They're accustomed to Bratz dolls are expensive, therefore I will buy Bratz dolls at these expensive prices. And that is the only other thing that I can think of, because like I was saying with the, like, you can list a price, you can list it all whatever price you want. That doesn't mean that people are going to buy it, and I do believe that. It does really annoy me when somebody lists something really expensive and it's not worth it, but again, it's your stuff. You can list it at whatever price you want it to be listed at. Maybe you're not willing to part, maybe you are delusional, I don't know, but like why are people buying dolls at these prices? And the only option, because I did not get good thoughts on why stuff is so expensive. My only other option in my head is why like Bratz dolls are so expensive is because people have become accustomed to just paying these prices. They're expensive. I hear it all the time. People are like, Bratz dolls are so expensive. People are like, yep, they've always been like that. And I don't know why, and it bothers me. I always have all these questions and I want answers and I can't get answers. And with my Rainbow High ones, some people some people commented that like they are selling theirs, or that they also agree maybe they aren't excited about the Rainbow High branding, but like they have also stopped collecting the Rainbow High ones, but they're not going to sell their collection. Or some people commented that like, why are these people selling their collection? Nothing is ever going to be as good quality. And so you guys gave me a lot of really good things to read. So if you guys have any thoughts on why Bratz is so expensive, I would love to read it. Because lately I've been thinking about Bratz dolls that I want to buy, slash what they should make reproductions of. I've been thinking about that lately. So if you guys have also thoughts on that, what should get a reproduction doll, let me know. But I've got so many questions, very little answers. Anyways, I'm back up. Thanks for watching me rant about Bratz dolls and their prices. Yeah, thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. Bye.